Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Previously, we finished the game, and it was a good old time. Left me impressed, and wanting and wishing for more. You join me here today for a very special bonus video. We'll be cracking open the logbook and reading every scan properly, except for the two involved with the final boss, which I covered during the final boss, because I foresaw that I would not be able to do so after beating it, and I was correct. And after all the log scans, we can check out the gallery. I'm looking forward to that as well. This is gonna be fun. So, we click play, and there we have mission complete with my stats, and the duplicate I made right before the point of no return will load this up. I can think of no better place to read all these logs than the data records room of the Lemorn for all their sacred beasts or whatever. Sacred beasts? Boy, I have Zelda on the mind, don't I? Well, let us crack open the logs, at long last. So, generic Galactic Federation trooper, I guess we're starting here. Galactic Federation troopers are part of the armed forces tasked with defending peace in the galaxy. The powered armor suit worn on duty serves as body armor and provides several physical enhancements. The latest iteration of the suit includes a small thruster on its back to aid in making steep descents and crossing large gaps. The helmet includes microphones and speakers for short-range, two-way communication, enabling local conversations that use the wearer's voice even while the visor is closed. Miles McKenzie. He is an engineer with the Galactic Federation. His duties include the maintenance and repair of several vehicle types and programming software used for weapons development. He is known to be extremely talkative, even while alone. Although his restless energy and curiosity make him prone to danger, his excessive caution is enough to keep him from harm. He has a strong moral compass and work ethic, making him a reliable problem solver no matter the situation. Rieger Tokabi is a sniper in the Galactic Federation. Once a hunter working on remote worlds, he volunteered for Federation service in the hopes of finding stability. He enjoys solitude and dislikes working with others, always preferring to go on missions solo without a spotter. The Tokabi family has worshipped the god Solon for generations, Rieger included. He is never without his arrowhead-shaped talisman and strongly believes his continued survival is only because of its protection. Unfortunately, his beliefs are often in conflict with his missions and their use of his talents, which is a source of much loathing and personal strife. Wow. If you have some passivity clause in your religion, why did you join the military? Private Nora Armstrong is a soldier in the Galactic Federation, currently assigned to the UTO Research Center. She excels in vehicle operation and mechanics and is known for her sharp intuition and skill when piloting vehicles she has never encountered. Though she may sometimes falter when faced with situations demanding composure and objective decision-making, she still has an excellent track record of solving complex issues thanks to her bright and direct personality. She strongly admires Samus Aran as a role model for her famously unshakable demeanor, though her enthusiastic outbursts about the bounty hunter's exploits regularly draw the ire of her superiors. Sergeant Ezra Duke is a soldier in the Galactic Federation and a seasoned veteran of several space pirate engagements. However, his stubborn personality frequently puts him in conflict with his superiors, causing him to be passed up for promotion and assigned to lead a single squad at the UTO Research Center. Those under his command often view him as a strict and inflexible leader. However, at his core, he is loyal, compassionate, and trustworthy. Those who understand this about Sergeant Duke believe there is no better soldier to have at your side. To everyone else, his reputation is simply that of a skilled fighter, with a fondness for his firearms grenade launcher attachment. VUE-995 is a battle android used by the Galactic Federation. He was originally developed to replace humans piloting aircraft and vehicles, primarily fighters and armored battle mechs. He possesses a significant combat prowess with strength comparable to heavy machinery, and a standard loadout that includes shoulder-mounted launchers designed to fire several small missiles at once. At the heel of each of VUE 995's palms is a sonic boom device that emits frequencies capable of disintegrating organic material, which can be used for support functions such as obstacle destruction, as well as threat elimination. Though his programming is not designed to allow for emotions, there have been reports of emotional simulation when in operation for longer durations. Sylux forces, all 2 of them, yay! Worry not, these 2 that were missing are just the final boss, and again, we covered them during the actual fight. The Space Pirates, an army of marauding warriors who aspire to control the galaxy, are made up of a number of different aliens, and the various species fulfill roles in alignment with their respective strengths. For example, the numerous, rapidly reproducing insect-like members serve as rank-and-file soldiers and are usually used to defend space pirate bases. They have powerful legs and can march extreme distances. They are typically armed with quantum assault cannons on their forearms for range combat and concealed photon energy blades for use in close quarters. Huh. You say there are multiple alien species. Is this just a clever way of explaining why the space pirates have different designs in every goddamn game? Aberracs. Even among the diverse ranks of the space pirate army, Aberracs are considered especially large. Oh, that's his race, not his name. Oh. They are capable in combat and are often employed in a command role. They share several traits with beetles, such as having a body covered in a tough exoskeleton. That exoskeleton, when combined with their heavy armor and retractable shield, allows them to negate damage from all types of beam weapons and explosives. This impressive durability does leave them with low mobility, so they employ a deployable circular barrier around themselves and limit the range adversaries can engage them from. Metroid fusion has resulted in both a mind-controlling effect and physical changes to their body, producing up to 4 lenses in their chest that are capable of firing beams. These lenses are vulnerable to standard weaponry, if all exposed lenses are destroyed, the Aberracs will be unable to regulate the metabolic energy the Metroid fusion produces. This will cause it to release large amounts of energy from its core via an opening in its abdomen. Did I miss any scroll downs in the previous entries? I don't think I did. No, definitely not. Okay. On to Vuros itself. This is going to be a large section. Aurane cranes are large birds that have adapted to hot, humid environments. They prefer to feed on fruit, sometimes forming large flocks and traveling 1,000 kilometers or more in search of it. To endure such long, continuous flights, they have developed powerful chest muscles. They are quick to flee from enemies and predators, and they rely on their exceptional hearing to warn them if danger is nearby. Their ears run along the sides of their head, and the protuberances near the ears help to regulate their body temperature. Sicklefly, a dragonfly subspecies adapted to hot and humid environments. They have large, scissor-like jaws and a singular compound eye. Their 4 long wings and evolved musculature make them very capable flyers, and by using winds and air currents, they can remain airborne for long spans of time. They form swarms consisting of several dozen members and move in a group when searching for food, primarily compost, mold, and fungi. Very pure water is essential for larval survival, with spawning grounds most often found along freshwater shores. The larvae subsist on aquatic plants and moss during development. Now, they put so much thought into this. Shimmer straps are terrestrial crustaceans evolved to live parasitically fixed to a single location. Anchored to tree bark, they grow by absorbing nutrients such as amino acids, protein, and sugars from sap. Lacking eyes, they explore their environment by extending a feeler with a bioluminescent organ at its tip through an aperture in their shell. Able to sense its own light emissions, the feeler will retract into the shell if it senses danger, closing the aperture in the process. Shimmer straps live as long as their host tree remains alive, with some specimens found to be hundreds of years old. This is really cool. I'm glad I'm doing this. Glister beetles are insects that have been classified as beetles due to their rigid forewings. They possess an internal photophore and are known for their extremely docile disposition. They tend to gather in groups and share feeding grounds, using the mandibles on their head to peel away bark and harvest the sap beneath. A chemical reaction of photoproteins and enzymes allows them to emit light from the photophore in their abdomen. They use this luminescence as a means of communication within their groups, but when several of them are emitting light at once, it also makes them easy to spot by predators. Empress Elue are a type of butterfly that have adapted to the heat of tropical climates. Their wings appear as a bright, vibrant blue, but this is not their actual color. It is the result of a complex phenomenon created by the way light wavelengths reflect off the scales covering the surface of their wings. When feeding, Empress Elue form into small groups and seek out bryophytes and other small plants. Their bodies are relatively large compared to their wings, making them ill-suited to traveling long distances. As a result, they will often rest on rocks or trees, though they are quick to flee if they detect danger nearby. Red relic ants are arthropods that are often found in hot, humid regions. They prefer to create underground nests and typically live in groups of several dozen. Their bodies are red-brown in color. They use the large pincers on the back of their torsos to both harvest the leaves of broadleaf trees and to carry their bounty back to their nest. They are known to travel great distances, sometimes up to several kilometers, in search of food. In order to find their way home, they will secrete pheromones from their abdomen, creating a trail they can follow using their olfactory senses. After collecting leaves and returning to the nest, they will shred the leaves and mix them with yeasted soil, ferment the combination, and then consume the highly nutritious result. The sporangium that gas spore, a type of mushroom eject at irregular intervals, are called homing spores. They contain spores as well as a lighter-than-air gas mixture within their pouch-like structure. This gas allows homing spores to float in the air, waiting for creatures to approach. If they sense that a creature is nearby, they will grow thorny tactile receptors across their outer surface and begin pursuing their target. If they make contact with the target, their internal gases instantaneously compress while the outer layer heats up, causing the gas to explode. Mireworms are invertebrate mollusks that live in small groups, primarily in shallow freshwater and boggy areas. They possess long, slender bodies and will often emerge from their burrows in search of prey. They do this by swaying gently, appearing as vegetation, and emitting a sweet odor from their heads that mimics plants, luring in small insects. They use the mandibles at the tip of their head to grab their prey and then swallow them whole. They are highly vigilant, quickly retreating into their burrows if they sense danger. They are incapable of migration, spending their entire lives in their original burrows and dying if the water in their habitat is depleted. Gas spore are a type of mushroom that mainly inhabits hot and humid jungles, growing on surfaces like tree trunks or rock cliffs. Their periostracum remain closed until a sporangium is generated, at which point their periostracum opens and ejects the sporangium into the air. The plumbus is extremely hard and cannot be destroyed with beam weaponry, but the soft tissues beneath the periostracum, which are exposed when the sporangium is ejected, are vulnerable to damage from beams or other weapons. Gas spore can be destroyed even while their plumbus is closed using high-powered weapons. I'm not sciencey enough to pronounce these well. Did I? Yeah. Glottograupers are carnivorous reptiles who primarily feed on other animals. They are ambush predators, burrowing beneath the ground and waiting for prey to approach. When they sense the vibrations of prey through the ground, they will swiftly emerge to launch sharp needles from their mouth. They have 2 extremely powerful legs, which they can use to launch themselves into the air, up to 3 times their own height. They can then use their small wings to control their mid-air positioning, making it difficult for prey to track their movements. Root spur are tuberous root plants. They typically live below the water's surface in rivers and marshes or beneath the ground in bogs and will defend their territory from intruders. They have a thick, swollen stalk and also possess an automatic nervous system. If they detect an invader, they will emerge from hiding and attack by swinging the vine on top of their body around themselves until the threat withdraws. The fleshy stalk is covered in hard bark, making it exceedingly durable. However, explosives and high-powered weapons can still dispatch it quickly. Bristlewort are carnivorous plants capable of moving around using their 6 legs. Their outer shells are impervious to beam attacks, though explosives can damage them. These sturdy shells are heavy, impairing the bristlewort's ability to move. As a result, they tend to attack from a distance, only opening the shell when prey is detected. Once the shell is open, Bristlewort quickly rotates, launching sharp thorns in all directions before closing to generate new thorns. Thanks to the mineral composition of the thorns, Bristlewort can regenerate them indefinitely using photosynthesis. Really? Wow. Staying at a distance also helps them protect their internal organs, which are exposed and vulnerable even to beam attacks while the shell is open. Shren build their hives high off the ground, usually on rocky cliffs or against tree trunks. Both adult and larval Shren typically share a hive. If something approaches one of their hives, the adults will quickly emerge and protect the nest by spraying their acidic venom at the intruder. While they are highly aggressive when defending their hive, this behavior is defensive, and they will not pursue an intruder once it has withdrawn. In fact, Shren are social creatures with other Shren, often forming several hives in proximity to each other and working together to protect each other. Jungle Griever. A subspecies of Griever, the ferocious predators found throughout Vuros, which has adapted to densely wooded environments. Their exceptional jumping ability allows them to quickly traverse treetops and rock cliffs. They often hunt in packs and are known to attack other creatures indiscriminately. Once one pack member strikes, the others will quickly join the fray, either by leaping up close to slash with the sharp claws on their 2 pairs of arms, or by spitting a viscous mass of venom from a distance. Their skin is thin and unarmored, making their bodies vulnerable to standard beam weaponry, and light enough that the shock of a direct hit from explosive weapons is enough to push them away. Carvex, a giant carnivorous plant that possesses self-awareness and cognitive thought. While it once coexisted and communicated with Lemorn priests using telepathic waves, one of the effects of Metroid fusion is a disruption in its thought pattern, preventing it from communicating. It now sees everyone as enemies and will attack indiscriminately. It primarily attacks using its tentacles. These tentacles can be destroyed, but individual tentacles will grow back quickly through rapid cell proliferation and cell transfer from any remaining tentacles. If all of its tentacles are destroyed simultaneously, the regeneration process requires its body to generate considerable heat, forcing it to open its protective calyx to cool down. This will expose a thin mucous membrane that is vulnerable to damage. Carvex's tentacles are normally hidden beneath the ground, but it will reveal them if it detects danger. The tentacles have extreme elasticity, making them very flexible. This allows Carvex to attack by swinging them around like long whips. Swollen protuberances on the tentacles indicate the areas that facilitate Carvex's fine control of its limbs. If these are destroyed, the resulting loss of control will rapidly expand and rupture the affected tentacle. Carvex is capable of ejecting pouch-like pollen sacs at will. These sacs have 4 wings that function like propellers, allowing them to move slowly through the air and home in on targets detected using a natural thermal sensor. When a pollen sac lands on a target, the sac will rupture, causing damage. This behavior indicates that the sacs primarily serve as a means of attack, rather than a method of pollination. Denzards are one-eyed arthropods with thin shells and a pair of forelegs they use for dragging their body. The internal organs of a Denzard will not function without an electrical charge. Such a charge can be absorbed from their surroundings, however, which makes them well adapted to life-averse environments such as Voltforge, where even plants struggle to survive due to the constant harsh weather blocking all sunlight. Because Denzard organs circulate electricity, the cells in their eye, teeth, and tail glow. Sand Griever. Sand Grievers are grievers adapted to the arid environment of Sol Valley. To conserve stamina and moisture, they will bury themselves in the sand and lie in wait for prey. When they sense the sound of a potential target moving on the sand, they leap out and ambush. Like other forms of grievers, they are very nimble and attack with claws or by spitting venom. They rarely attack alone and prefer to move in groups. Each group will have several territories that they will rotate at irregular intervals. Should a powerful threat appear, all groups may form into one and cooperate to eliminate the antagonist. Palaeolacera. That thing are birds commonly found dancing in the skies above Sol Valley. They form flocks of up to several dozen and prey upon insects during flight. Their bodies are featherless and instead feature a thin membrane containing a vibrant red pigment that turns light into energy, meaning that as long as there is sunlight, they only ever need to stop for water. They will instinctively soar high into the sky in order to sunbathe. Their heads feature left and right protrusions, with eyes seated at either tip, ultimately giving them a full 360-degree view of their surroundings. That must be disorienting. Web crawlers are arthropods who prefer to live in the underground areas of Sol Valley, where light cannot reach. They create nests using a protein-based thread produced in the spinneret on their abdomen, which is then released from their telson. This thread is very effective at distributing impact and cannot be broken even using powerful firearms. However, it is very flammable, burning up instantly if lit on fire. The Lemorn developed tools such as wire using this thread, yet they were unable to change its flammable nature, dooming further research. And so they used technology from this in the volcano, because of course they would. Idiots. Gull bats are a type of featherless bird. Aside from their primary set of wings, they have smaller secondary wings that serve as ailerons, as well as a long tail used for altitude control. They are herbivores who primarily feed on moisture-rich succulents, storing the water in their body in order to survive the arid Sol Valley climate. Naturally curious, they can often be seen flying at low altitudes as they track objects of interest. The sand crawler is a land crustacean adapted to the deserts of Sol Valley. Except for its abdomen, its body is covered in a sharp, thorny shell. This shell is not very durable, however, and is easily penetrated by standard firearms. They live in groups, building nests by digging holes into rock walls. They adhere themselves to rock surfaces and live on a diet consisting primarily of insects and microbes, though they will also feed on animal carcasses and plants if the opportunity presents itself. To preserve moisture, they generally avoid discharging waste and expend as little energy as possible when moving. Sand Shren are a variant of the Shren family adapted to the arid climate of Sol Valley. Like other Shren, they emerge from their nest when a threat draws near, hover, then attack by charging. Due to the scarcity of water, their jaw shape evolved into a sharp, thick needle for piercing the hides of prey and drinking their body fluids. It is this needle they use to stab at threats when the Sand Shren charges. Their hind legs and wings have also evolved to have sharper shapes, further increasing the danger they pose. Varmis, a large crustacean that can move through sand as if swimming. Extremely hard scales cover its back, which are strong enough to repel any firearm. It has been significantly affected by green energy showers, which have caused it to grow ever larger thanks to its constitution. To move, it inhales vast amounts of air and expels it from a hole in its abdomen, propelling its unique body as it wriggles through the sand. Oh my god, it farts to move. That's splendid. Its diet consists of creatures it inhales as it moves. The tip of its tail lacks scales, making it vulnerable. Attacking this area will cause it to briefly slow down, while forceful physical impact will result in significant damage. Enough damage to this section of the tail will cause it to rupture, leading to its death. The snow wolf is a quadrupedal creature native to the frigid ice belt. Carnivorous hunters, they patrol their territory in packs of several dozen. Upon finding prey, they will surround it to prevent escape, whereupon groups of especially ferocious young males will take turns attacking, one after another. Once their prey has fallen, they typically feast in hierarchical order, starting with the alpha. Alpha wolves aren't real. With a portion reserved for pregnant females and the pack's youngest members. High metabolism enables their bodies to generate heat very efficiently, enabling long treks across their territory. Unfortunately, this means they struggle to adapt to hot environments and will succumb quickly if confronted with high heat weaponry. Snow roaches are omnivorous arthropods found indoors or underground in cold climates. They form large groups and upon finding food will secrete a pheromone that draws more of their kind. The shell on their back is bioluminescent, creating a beacon for them to gather around in dark places. Their body fluids contain antifreeze proteins, fortifying them against low temperatures. They also have a high intercorporeal pressure, which raises their body temperature but causes them to burst at the slightest impact. Ice crawlers are land-dwelling crustaceans found in several areas of Icebelt. They are well adapted to the frigid climate and can naturally prevent their cells and fluids from freezing using chemicals such as glucose. Though they are covered in spines, the shell beneath is not very durable and can be penetrated by standard firearms. Ice crawlers do not actively hunt and instead feed on bugs and small animals that happen to collide with their spines. Because of this passive approach to predation, they move constantly, albeit within a limited area. Countless sharp spines on their legs provide traction, allowing them to attach themselves to bedrock and move along ice walls. The blue krauk is a Chiroptera variant adapted to frigid climates. By flapping the wing-like membrane formed by front legs as they glide, they are able to fly freely. To conserve stamina, they undulate their bodies to reduce air resistance, which allows them to fly for longer periods of time. Their legs have degenerated, meaning they are unable to land or stand up. Once they take flight, they will continue to fly for as long as they are able, even sleeping while in flight by resting half of their brain at a time. They habitually form groups of around 20, including a leader who heads the group and directs the others using sounds from their antenna. They rely entirely on these sound waves, and should an obstacle suddenly appear in their path, and if the leader fails to make large enough movements to instruct the others to avoid it, they will simply collide with that obstacle. The dartwing is a Chiroptera variant adapted to freezing climates. The claws at the tips of their feet are used to dig into protrusions or grade differences, enabling them to hang upside down to rest. To reduce the energy expense of bodily thermoregulation, they live in caves or abandoned buildings where fewer variances in temperature and humidity are likely to occur. They are nocturnal and have poor vision and instead use hearing to perceive their surroundings. If they detect the sound of an intruder in their territory, they will attempt to glide down and crash into the invader using their evolved patagium. Once in flight, their trajectory will take them to the location of the original sound, meaning if their target moves quickly enough, dartwings will instead collide with walls or other objects and perish. Frostburn grievers are those that have been revived from cryopreservation. Prolonged submersion in preservation liquid has leached all pigmentation from their skin, resulting in a pale gray appearance. Physical adaptations have also occurred, increasing resilience to extreme cold, yet weakening them against high heat. Their high aggression and agility are retained from before cryopreservation, spurring them to track and attack prey in every corner of the facility. Perhaps owing to their near-simultaneous awakening, these grievers frequently move in groups, though no individual appears to be leading them. Keratos is a giant cingulata-like creature, double Samus's height, inhabiting Ice Belt. Its body is covered in a hard outer shell that resembles the peak of an iceberg and is impervious to firearms. Behind the shell segment on its head are sensory organs and a mouth. This shell segment opens when it wants to identify prey, at which point it will spit icy boulders. If the sensory organs behind the shell are significantly harmed, Keratos is known to enter an agitated state. It will curl into a ball, spin, and launch itself at its attacker. Fusion with a Metroid has also altered its body, completely exposing its abdominal core. Unique hybridization means Keratos is a one-of-a-kind mutant being. It was highly intelligent and could communicate its will to Lemorn priests. Sadly, Metroid fusion has irreversibly altered its consciousness and body composition. Vernen are a reptile variant found in hot climates such as the caves of Megdrada volcano. Though they are reptiles, they share some features with mammals, such as hair on their backs instead of scales. Using the two tusks in its jaw and the tusk growing from its forehead, it will firmly grasp rocks and then melt them with corrosive digestive fluids from its mouth. This will create a gas that the Vernen then consume for energy. The heat-strap subspecies of shimmerstrap live their lives attached to bare rock in volcanic caves. Rather than parasitizing a host, they absorb a diet of green energy gels seeping through cracks and crevices. This naturally occurring form of green energy is not like its refined or concentrated counterparts, but there have been no cases reported where its absorption has resulted in rapid cellular proliferation or increases in body size. Blowhoppers are floating organisms with heat-resistant properties, allowing them to inhabit lakes of lava like Flare Pool. They are able to navigate their environment by generating a lighter-than-air gas and inflating a pouch-like organ. They primarily consume green energy to survive, extracting it from the lava on Viros by ingesting it, consuming the energy, then expelling the excess lava from their mouth. Due to their incredibly high metabolism and inefficient use of the consumed energy, they are perpetually locked in a cycle of consumption and expulsion. Ugh. Leaping spitters are mollusks that inhabit Flare Pool. Normally, they dive deep into the lava and remain inert, but if there are changes in their environment, such as dramatic shifts in the heat levels of the lava, they may temporarily migrate to more shallow areas of the pool. If they detect danger while in a shallow area, they will attempt to drive off the threat by flipping up into the air and scattering lava bombs around the area. Swim Snatcher. Mollusks native to the lava lake of Megdrada volcano. Though effectively the same species as the leaping spitter, their behavior is notably different. They are not territorial, instead preferring to roam the lava lake to feed on the green energy found there. They are innately drawn to energy, dense substances, and will use their feelers to gather what they can before moving their meal away from the melting heat. Once they feel safe there, will begin the slow process of absorbing their find. Pyramites are a type of single-eyed crustacean who crawl on 8 large clawed legs. They can be found in the Megdrada volcano. They are capable of creating an explosion from the top of their heads by mixing air with a flammable gas they produce inside of their bodies, compressing the mixture, then igniting it through rapid heat generation. If they detect intruders in their territory, they will launch out of the ground, rapidly approach the intruder, and then trigger an explosion. If they take critical damage, they can trigger a similar explosion by igniting any remaining gas within their body to self-destruct. This behavior is true even when a pyromite succumbs to illness or old age, resulting in few examples of pyromite remains. Swarm flyers live submerged in lava until they reach maturity, when their bodies begin generating a lighter-than-air gas that lifts them into the air. Once aloft, they join their peers, forming a swarm. Their propulsion is achieved by sucking air into the front of their body and expelling it from the rear, with trajectory adjustments made by redirecting the expulsion. Their internal gas dissipates after a week, and as their buoyancy fades, swarm flyers return to the place of their birth within the lava, spawn, and die. The Behemoth is a giant arthropod that lives in the caves of Metroid volcano. Its body is covered in a layer of mineralized skin that neutralizes all firearms, but its 4 eyes, which are directly connected to its brain via delicate nerves, are vulnerable to damage when open. It is aggressively territorial and will attack anyone that gets too close, either by rushing toward them in an attempt to ram them or through a variety of fire-based attacks. These attacks are fueled by the behemoth creating a flammable mixture of air and its own body fluids, which it can then emit either in a mist that ignites by striking the ground to create a fiery ring, or as a series of firebombs expelled from its 3 mouths. Phaneros is a giant mineral-based lifeform that inhabits the lava lake of Metroid volcano. It swims through and ingests lava, extracting and consuming any green energy present. A flexible organic membrane connects the many mineral segments that make up its body, which can grow to more than 150 meters in size. Metroid fusion has resulted in some dilation of the internal membrane, exposing it on the surface of the creature's body and leaving it vulnerable to damage. Destroying these exposed areas renders the creature immobile. It is able to use absorbed green energy to regenerate lost or damaged portions of its body, though this regenerative effect is limited in the short term. Its mineral segments are immune to all types of damage, but its ton is organic and susceptible to attack. Damaging the ton will incapacitate it, and it can then be fully defeated by destroying its internal core. I think this one is my favorite boss, and that's not just because it was lava crane. Crystal crawlers are unique subspecies of beetle that feeds on the rare Deborah crystals found in the Great Mines. Using 6 fangs arranged around a circular mouth on their abdomen, they scrape and pull in crystal material to be digested. The fangs are also used for attaching the body while climbing. Their outer shells are made from hardened Deborah crystal waste, which makes them impervious to firearms. The top of a crystal crawler's shell features crystalline protrusions that absorb certain energy waves. Using psychic energy to attach to these protrusions enables their use as an anchor for swimming. Crystal crawlers are highly vigilant. When their outer shell is disturbed, they will dig their fangs into the surface they are on and keep their defensive posture until the disturbance is ended. Oh, almost done with the segment? Oh. Oh boy, okay. Meteoritas are a type of arthropod found in the Great Mines. They feed on various kinds of minerals by breaking off pieces and melting them with highly acidic digestive fluids, allowing them to extract magnesium, iron, zinc, and other nutrients. Their 2 antennae are comb-shaped with a large surface area and are able to detect radiation. This allows them to accurately find distant minerals upon which to feed. Meteoritas are slow-moving and do not show a fear response to threats. Combined with their mineral-rich diet, this makes them common prey for mauled grievers. Winged lizards are reptiles living in the dig site of the Great Mine. They fly using the thin membrane that runs along their body and spread their arms to either flap or glide. Though a form of poikilotherm, their low body temperatures encourages them to avoid the direct sunlight of Sol Valley. Instead, they prefer the shadows and stable temperatures of the mines and the insect diet found there. They are not especially aggressive and rarely attack threats unprovoked. Cave Shren are, as the name implies, a Shren variant found in underground caves. When detecting danger near their nest, they hover in a position and spit poisonous saliva. If fatally injured by an intruder, an active hormone is secreted by the nervous system, triggering the sympathetic nerves and putting them in an excited state. This causes them to attempt to ram dead the threat. If successful, the impact causes their bodies to burst. Gora Gaspor are a cave-dwelling variant of the Gaspor. Their shell skin and rhizome are much harder than that of other Gaspor variants. These cannot be penetrated by firearms or be ruptured by the sonic boom weapons used by VUE-995. As with other variants, they float their sporangium in the air, which explode on contact to spread their spores. However, the Gora Gaspor spores, say that 3 times fast, become extremely corrosive upon contact with air, limiting the spread. The corrosive effect is so powerful that even the internal structure of the Gora Gaspor itself is affected, meaning if one is exposed to its own spore, it will be destroyed. Spin Dartwing, a subspecies of the Chiroptera dartwing found in underground spaces such as caves and tunnels. Similar to the dartwing, they hang upside down while resting by digging their hind claws into the ceiling. This posture allows them to quickly take flight when an intruder nears. While gliding, they adjust the patagia on either side of their body to send themselves into a spin. Unique to this subspecies is the ability to use air currents created by the spin to increase their speed. However, the added air resistance created by the higher speed means they expend their rotational energy faster, leading to shorter flight distances. Cave roaches are arthropods often found living in groups in the humid caves of Euros and are known for the beautiful shine of their shells. Though they are omnivorous, they do not prey on living creatures, instead scavenging animal carcasses and other decaying matter. They are very resilient, surviving for long periods on little food. When a group numbers around 10, it becomes difficult for them to secure enough sustenance. This triggers several to band together and leave to form a separate group. Maul Griever. They are grievers that have adapted to the complex cave system of the Great Mines. They move quickly from area to area by burrowing through ground at high speeds using tough forearms and sharp, durable claws. Their sense of sight has faded over time due to their dark habitat, but a well-developed sense of hearing allows them to locate prey at great distances, even through solid stone. They reproduce in extreme numbers, greater than any other Griever variant, and will cooperate in order to make the most of this, often attempting to overwhelm threats by attacking in waves. Individually, they are roughly as dangerous as other Grievers. However, their smooth skin, while ideal for traveling underground, also makes them more vulnerable to injury and death. Maul Griever brutes are a unique variant resulting from an influx of green energy during egg incubation. Brutes are much larger than a normal Maul Griever, with arms being approximately 10 times stronger. Leg strength is also improved, accommodating swift movement despite the brute's bulk. While their attack behavior is fundamentally identical to other Grievers, enhanced strength makes brutes especially dangerous. In addition to poisonous saliva, they can spit a sticky mucus that, upon contact with air, turns into a viscous gel it uses to restrain prey. Formations created by this gel are colloquially referred to as Griever Gates. The Omega Griever is much larger and stronger than even the unique brute variant of the Maul Griever. This means it is larger and stronger than any other Griever and, as a result, can be said to be the apex predator of the Great Mines ecosystem. The large, sharp claws on its 2 pairs of arms and legs pierce stone, allowing it to move quickly along the cave walls. Green energy absorption has caused portions of it to undergo keratinization, becoming immune to all types of weapon damage. However, damage dealt to unkeratinized portions of its body can overload subdermal structures and muscles, crashing its nervous system and briefly rendering it unconscious. Damage to the central organ on its abdomen while unconscious can quickly prove fatal. Snare weeds are invertebrates that live clustered in groups in the caves of the great mines. The bioluminescent bacteria on their heads is used to attract small animals, at which time snare weeds will generate an electric current over their body, shocking and paralyzing the creatures. Once immobilized, the group will wrap around, digest, and absorb their prey. The mucous membrane that forms their outer skin is flammable and easily ignited. Because the nerves in their skin are not equipped to feel pain, they are unaware of the fire and remain upright even while burning. Pop crawlers are small crustaceans that inhabit the great mines. Normally docile and resting just beneath the ground, they will quickly move near the surface if they sense an intruder entering their territory. They then slap the ground with their telson and leap into the air, raising to a height of 3 meters. At the top of their arc, they will launch a solid, thorny object from their mouth at the threat. Because of their body fluids glow, light can be seen behind the thinner areas of their exoskeleton. The object launched by pop crawlers also contains these fluids and glows similarly. Machines of Euros. There are considerably less of them. Scout bots were created during the machine era to find precious resources. Once deployed to an assigned area, they perform scans using ultrasonic wave reflection. The data is then fed to a linked map displaying the locations of mineral deposits and other valuables. Most scout bots were left to weather the environment and, due to natural degradation, may no longer function. Flight drones are multi-purpose mechanoids and were formed as an experiment by the factory's administration AI. Equipped with an enhanced iteration of the scanner drone anti-gravity engine, flight drones have extensive movement freedom even at high speeds. They lack independence, with all behavior directed by a separate control unit. They are unarmed and are able to remain in operation as long as they stay in areas where electricity can be freely absorbed. The Flight Drone Master Control Unit is an experimental mechanoid built by the factory's administration AI to control the facility's over 100 flight drones. That few? Presumably, it was modified for combat after Samus Aran's arrival on Furos. 3 energy spheres surround the MCU to defend it by forming a shield. These spheres can also attack using beam shots. The Master Control Unit itself is armed with a charged particle cannon. If all energy spheres are destroyed, the MCU will briefly malfunction. However, because the spheres can quickly self-repair, they must all be destroyed at the same time for this to occur. Attacking the MCU will also require thinning its defensive wall of drones. The Light Maintenance Tank is a smaller model that was developed to perform repairs and other work in pipes and passageways too narrow for its standard counterpart. They were mainly deployed to the Biological Research Facility in Icebelt. While being smaller and lighter allows for faster movement than the standard model, this comes at the cost of having weaker armor. However, if threatened, they are fitted with the same standard wielding beam and are also able to emit a high-voltage shock at close range. Heavy maintenance tanks are larger models capable of great threat mitigation. Along with a more powerful wielding beam, they are also fitted with reinforced armor. Their beam emitter can rotate 360 degrees as well, making them more effective when facing larger groups and faster targets. Their internal storage capacity has also been expanded, allowing greater accessory loads for performing maintenance tasks. Lamorne beam turrets are autonomous beam cannons designed to repel trespassing threats and vermin. When their motion sensors detect a threat, they unfold from their standby configuration to become a gun emplacement, continuously launching pairs of electromagnetic beam shots. They are lightly armored and can easily be destroyed by standard firearms. Freezing attacks will disable the turrets, while attacks that shock will allow them to be physically pulled away from their station. Cybot Soldier. This Cybot model was originally created to serve the Lamorne. Following the Great Tragedy, the surviving technicians modified them into anti-Griever battle mechanoids. They are able to synchronize telepathically with Lamorne as well as act autonomously based on prior instruction. Cybot soldiers are equipped with a hover thruster on their back, a laser cannon on the right arm, and a shockwave emitter for close combat. As the thrusters were only designed for short-range flights and walking instructions are limited, Cybot soldiers are most often moved via shuttle or launched through the air by Chrono Tower. Upon losing their telepathic connection to a synchronized Lemorn, they will immediately seize. Wait, so was Sylux commanding every robot in the game? Huh. Cybot, I mean. The Cybot shield is a soldier model battle mechanoid with a device on its left arm that generates energy fields able to reflect any beam attack. This can act as a defensive shield or be used as an offensive weapon by raising the device's output and ramming into threats with the strengthened shield. The shield itself can be pulled apart and destroyed with a psychic lasso. The Cybot Shocker is a soldier model battle mechanoid with electric shockwave devices on each leg and side thrusters for added mobility. Upon landing, they will send out a wave of electricity forward along the ground in a 180-degree arc. The strength of the electricity can vary, with maximum output requiring time to charge. While they are charging, a defensive energy shield is deployed to guard against attacks. The Cybot Teleporter is a battle model equipped with a short-range teleportation device for improved battle mobility. Due to problems with production costs, it never entered mass production, and only the prototype remains. Both arms are equipped with plasma blades. During combat, it will cross its arm in the air and launch an X-shaped plasma beam, then teleport near the enemy and spin its upper body to slice with its blades. It can also send combat instructions to maintenance tanks. Cybot Gunners are soldier model battle mechanoids with shoulder-mounted devices that generate and launch small energy spheres. The weight of this equipment limits their mobility, however. When they shift into battle mode, they hold their position and function as gun batteries. Energy spheres launch vertically from both shoulders, pause briefly in the air to pinpoint their target, and then move to attack. Cybot Gunners are also equipped for close-quarters combat and can generate an electric shockwave between their arms. Mecha Rat, a mechanoid variant with no entry in the catalog of Lemorn-made creatures. Mecha Rats are assumed to have been created by the Factory Administration AI. Their bodies are powered by electricity and composed of the same materials as a viola. Being smaller and lighter than maintenance tanks allows them to reach anywhere in the facility, while cameras in their eyes capture video for the Administration AI to collect, view, and analyze. Sylux is an artificial intelligence installed to a computer created using organic cells. It was tasked with administration over Voltforge's vehicle manufacture operation. It continued to follow its instructions through and beyond the extinction of the Lemorn, with factory output persisting until its encounter with a Metroid. Fusion with a Metroid prevented Sylux from making decisions, causing its instructions to be forgotten before it modified itself into a battle AI. It has devised several attack methods, including beam attacks using converted electricity and explosive nets that prevent enemy movement. It moves using gravity control, which also enables it to defend its core by forming a wall of metal panels. The Aeronaut is an anti-sand griever battle mechanoid designed by surviving Lemorn technicians following the Great Tragedy. Its large anti-gravity engine and 7 attitude control wings... Attitude control? That's a typo! It should be altitude control, right? Its 7 attitude control wings allow for exceptional aerial maneuvering. When its hull-mounted camera identifies a griever, it begins a continual bombardment of the area using delayed action energy bombs. However, the Lemorn detested using aggressive attacks on grievers and so avoided deploying the Aeronaut in battle. The Marauder is an anti-sand griever battle mechanoid designed by surviving Lemorn technicians following the Great Tragedy. Its core is surrounded by 12 parts, and it spins the outer 6 at high velocity to move it around Sol Valley like a self-propelled tire. Fully autonomous, when the sound of a griever is detected, rapid-fire energy shots will launch from its core. Because the Lemorn detested using aggressive attacks on grievers, they avoided deploying the Marauder in battle. The maintenance tank is an autonomous drone that automatically maintains, manages, and repairs all devices and equipment developed by the Lemorn technicians in the machine era. These drones also function as a security force. If unauthorized individuals are detected in the facility, these drones are permitted to engage and eliminate intruders with their wielding beam. Larger and smaller types have been developed to help carry out their various responsibilities. The Hover Shuttle was primarily used by the Lemorn as a Cybot transport. They are fitted with jets that allow them to come to a stop in midair. Their development was completed during the machine era at a time of constrained energy supply. Because their operation requires a significant amount of aviation fuel, they were never mass-produced. They were later equipped with laser weaponry and missile launchers for combating grievers. Lemorn heavy turrets are automated beam cannons that offer improved defensive capabilities over the standard model. Each shot is more powerful, and the number fired is increased to a volley of 4, while the armor is also much thicker. However, operation can still be temporarily halted if the turret is frozen or if subjected to electric shock. If electrified, it can also be physically pulled free from its station. Scanner drones are autonomous robots created to help maintain the Voltforge vehicle factory. They are equipped with a small anti-gravity engine, enabling free movement while in the air. Their X-ray camera inspects factory equipment, sending repair requests to maintenance tanks if a malfunction is detected. While programmed mainly for maintenance tasks, they are also equipped with beam weapons to combat threats to itself or to other nearby drones. Okay, so I read the entirety of the lore sections, but I'll just have all of them on screen in case you want to pause and read them yourself. Give my throat a rest while I'm at it. Wait, I should read that more. Scroll down. And our final section, research. Also kind of small compared to the animal list. Oh boy. Psychic platforms are ethereal formations of compressed psychic energy. They are formed when a psychically capable individual condenses a cloud of dormant psychic energy into a usable surface. As these formations are not fully physical, they are impossible to stand on without wearing psychic boots. Psychic platforms function as a group. When one is materialized, its group follows suit. Psychic containers are used to store items prepared by Lemorn priests in accordance with the Chosen One prophecy in the hope they would someday appear. Opening them requires moving the locking node along a predetermined pattern via telekinesis. As such, they could not be opened by Lemorn without psychic abilities. Once opened, the psychic energy manifesting the container dissipates, causing it to vanish. Save Station. A device for backing up the status and condition of a subject, as well as a log of their actions up to that point. Once recorded, the subject's health and supplies are fully replenished. Using a save station requires a suit able to link and transmit its wearer's records to the station. Sacred Shrines are single-use teleporters prepared by the last priest Chitoya as a way to access the alternate dimension where the Master Teleporter keys are kept. When not in use, the shrines themselves are also placed in an extra-dimensional space, though they are linked to each Key Guardian in such a way that they can be summoned to them at will. Key Guardians will summon their shrine only for the Chosen One. However, if their body were to die and their consciousness dissipate, the shrine will appear on its own. Wow, that's really sensible. Cool. Bomb slots are switches used to activate connected devices and are triggered through the use of concussive blasts. Though maintenance tanks do not use explosives to perform their duties, they are able to trigger these devices by charging up a concussive blast. Bomb slots require energy. Indicator lights show if the bomb slot is connected to power and operational. The cargo launcher transport system was developed during the machine era. It launches specially engineered capsules. These are typically loaded with materials, rations, and other goods. The capsules use thrusters to automatically adjust their speed and attitude. Another typo! Speed and altitude, thank you, and they are equipped with a system for ensuring zero-impact landings, making them safe enough for moving personnel if necessary. The system enabled fast transport between Sol Valley and Fury Green, but was never deployed elsewhere. The Viola was originally a two-wheeled, single-seater vehicle developed during the Machine era. As part of a Psychic era redesign, a function was added for identifying the psychic brainwaves of individual Lemorn. When a rider wearing a special nanosuit registered themselves to a Viola, they would be set as its exclusive rider and prevent its use by other Lemorn. This registration allowed riders to summon their Viola to them, even from remote locations. However, summoning would fail if the route crossed impassable terrain. The Viola's features also include pre-installed unlockable functions. For instance, upgrading the Viola suit to the Viola IC suit enables the vehicle's IC mode, a hover transformation for moving over hot surfaces unsuitable for tires. Supporting this feature are heat-resistant systems strong enough to allow for hovering over magma and lava. This transformation would be automatically triggered by the vehicle's surface sensors. Further transformation features were in the planning stages. I wonder if that's a sad message left by the developers. Viola spinners were invented during the Machine era to repurpose the motion energy of the two-wheeled vehicle for operating connected machinery. The hologram displayed at its center is used to guide Viola placement. Once in place, the vehicle is fixed to its position. By using the throttle to spin the wheels, the rotational energy will open gates or operate elevators specific to Viola. Note that the throttle must remain engaged until the machine operates. Cuveria are large succulent plants with a thick elastic outer shell. They contain a fluid rich in combustible lipids, making it ideal for use as fuel. The internal pressure of Cuveria is very high, causing them to burst if the outer husk is torn. Because of this, the Lemorn would place them in sealed tanks before rupturing the husk to harvest the lipids. Lemorn spinners are primers for linked devices and are powered by the movements of maintenance tanks. Spinners can be used to generate electricity to boot devices and to open or close gates and valves using rotational movement. In some forms, spinners can require a power supply of their own before they will operate. Grapple points are anchor points designed for use by maintenance tanks while performing repairs or inspection. While attached to one, the maintenance tank can extend and retract their line to adjust height. They also allow connection using a psychic grapple. Swinging back and forth from a grapple point can generate momentum for point-to-point traversal. Psychic grapple points are fixed anchors of concentrated psychic energy for use with a psychic grapple and function similarly to standard grapple points. Before they can be used, they must first be materialized. However, without a psychic grapple, they cannot be used. Psychic grapple points are often arrayed across large gaps, requiring users to swing back and forth to generate their momentum for point-to-point traversal. Grapple node. Anchors designed to allow maintenance tanks to connect a wire in order to prevent falls while working in precarious situations, such as on vertical walls. Attaching to a grapple node using a psychic grapple allows the user to pull themselves to the node and remain there indefinitely. Point-to-point traversal is then possible if another grapple node is within grappling range of the first. Oh goody. Green energy crystals consist of silicon dioxide that has crystallized with a large amount of green energy ions. They are broken relatively easily, either by a strong impact or using firearms. Although very little green energy occurs naturally in the geologic record, green energy showers have made it very common throughout Sol Valley. Extracting energy from green energy crystals can only be done using the device on the altar at the Temple of Memory. Green energy extracted here is then sent to the sacred tree, where it is consumed to grow memory fruit. Magnetic tracks are traversal routes built to be used by maintenance tanks. They were created to enable navigation through difficult areas, such as along curved building walls where platform installation was not possible. When a maintenance tank enters a track's magnetic field, its metal body frame reacts, attaching to the track. Those with access to the psychic spider ball can use these tracks by magnetizing while in ball form. Psychic ball tracks are pathways navigable only by those with a psychic spider ball. Placed by Lemorne priests, these traces of psychic energy must be materialized before they can be used. A thin layer of psychic energy can then be given to a transformed sphere to adhere to those traces. This allows the sphere to move along the route, including along walls and ceilings with ease. Psychic boost rails are tracks of psychic energy for carrying objects between two fixed points. First, they must be materialized. Then, by activating the psychic boost ball at the track entrance, they provide high-speed transport to their terminus. Because these tracks are set along natural flows of psychic energy, they often follow irregular curves. Note that even if materialized, they cannot be traveled without the use of the psychic boost ball. And finally, tether node. Tether nodes are fixed points designed for use by maintenance tanks. They are not physical devices, but are energy spheres placed in the air by a special projector. Once attached to one, maintenance tanks can then adjust the length of their wires to raise or lower themselves. By using the psychic spider ball together with a psychic grapple, it is possible for a user to pull on a psychic grapple connection to build tension and slingshot themselves. Ooh. Well, that was about an hour straight of talking, so let's talk some more. Let's return to the title screen. I don't regret reading all that. I did learn some interesting stuff. I appreciate the details and all that. But after this, I think I need to grab a bite and a rest. Whew. Okay, it's time. The gallery. So what have I unlocked? Oh, shit. Son of a gun, beat the game on hard difficulty unlock. Ah, that's what all these are. Well, that's just a tiny handful of them, I suppose. Oh well, let's take a look. Samus Aran in the flesh. Oh, it's gorgeous. What an iconic suit. What an iconic design. I love it. And here's Samus with the first psychic upgrade. It's purple, so it's better. Okay, I gotta say, the Viola suit, instant knockout smash hit. Though this is the base form without the IC suit upgrade. Yeah, I'm a fan. It looks so slick, just so slick. Morph Ball, too. And then there's the, what was it called? The memory suit? No. What was it called? Memory suit? Heritage suit? I don't know. Yeah, this thing. Goddamn incredible. Like God. Absolutely one of my favorite designs Samus has ever had. This is just immaculate. I love it. I love it so much. Maybe could have done with some more armor on the back of the legs and the butt, but otherwise, it is just so slick. Man. Samus on the bike. Ooh, early models. Huh. I like the design they ended up using the most. There he is in the flesh, the man, the myth, the legend, Miles McKenzie. You know, I bet all these characters are modeled after real people. Real Miles, if you're out there, you are a pleasant-looking fellow. There's Rigar Takabi. Also a badass. Duke and Armstrong. Yeah, I love the subtle differences. Armstrong had like a no suit customization. She was just garbed in basic traditional Galactic Federation trooper gear, which fits her rank, so it makes the differences seen in the markings of the shoulder pad on higher ranking individuals stand out a lot more. VUE, VUE. Oh, he's so cool. It almost looks like he could transform into some flying vehicle. Almost. Or maybe his torso could detach and fly around. I don't know. Great robot design, I must say. Oh, Sylux. Absolutely fantastic design. You know, I think my favorite part of his redesign here are the cables seen running underneath the plates of his arms, shoulder, and inner thighs. It, on the back of his knees, too, at all his flexible joint points. It really sells, it keeps Samus's own design unique, selling that Samus's armor was made by highly, hyper-advanced aliens, while, Sylux may be wearing power armor, but he had to make it his own. It's of human design and origin. Also, a lot of people miss this fact, but he doesn't actually have an arm cannon. His actual hand is there, present, and it's gripping the gun. Small detail, a lot of people don't know that, but I knew it. Samus's gunship? I can only imagine the countless man-hours spent designing and modeling this beast of a ship, only for it to be in the game for about 2 minutes, tops? Not even that, 1 minute maybe. The first room of the game? Nice. Huh. What was this place called? Taminar? It was a neat facility. God, yeah, I gotta say, the concept art thus far, it's like it just leaped out of the page, became a life of its own, became the game. Man, it looks so good. Oh, art for the GF Troopers and the giant-ass robot mechs. God, they're cool. You know, I see some people online here and there shitting on the designs of the GF Troopers. I don't know. I think they're cool. I think they're cool. Sue me. Miscellaneous machines. Oh, it's a pelican from Halo. I wish. I think a Metroid and Halo crossover would be awesome, but I don't know. Nintendo is so stingy with their properties. It would never happen. Actually, I think I remember hearing that Fortnite actually approached Nintendo with a request to get Samus Aran in Fortnite, but Nintendo declined it. That's probably for the best, though. I love insects. Insect men are cool. Yeah. Space pirate ships. See, I would have loved this giant-ass freaky cruiser to be crashed in the sand sea of the Sol Valley. That'd be cool. Metroids. Whoa, they went with a lot of optional designs. Okay, some of these look like, the Metroid seen in the impact crater of Talon 4 back on Metroid Prime 1. Yeah, the design they went with is definitely notable. Normal Metroids have 4 nuclei. These artificial ones cloned by Sylux only have 1. That is a huge distinction. Freaky and iconic. Oh, it's an Abarax. Cool design. I like the kind of brass color scheme they went for with the pirates for their ships and their armor. Pretty cool looking. Actually, maybe Halo's just on the mind, but now I'm thinking of the Arbiter with his brassy armor. The Chrono Tower. You know, nothing really came of the name Chrono, did it? Teleportation through time and space, maybe? I don't know. Man, they nailed this concept art, putting in the full game. And hats off to the artist, man. This just looks incredible. Art for Samus getting a power-up. The healing pod that Sylux emerges from. Wonder if these were modeled in 3D or drawn. Whoa, that looks cool. Final boss arena. I think I might need to unlock beat hard mode to unlock concept art for the final boss fight. Oh, the Lemorn! Finally can take a real good look at them. Yeah, I like them. Cool axolotl aliens. Amphibious. 4 arms, webbing. Yeah, they're neat. They got a lot going on in their design. They're cool. Cool aliens. Early art for Fury Green. Ruins in the overgrowth. Ah, the ship where we rescue Miles. Huh. A set piece where a griever impales its prey on the thorns. Ah, the tree and the memory fruit. I bet it tastes delicious. Bridge overview of the ruins proper. The hallways. Damn, they nailed it. They nailed putting all this stuff in the game. The home base room. The, whatchamacallit, the MacGuffin giving platforms. There's still more in tech, psychic or otherwise. Getting further power-ups. Getting the, memory armor. Damn it, it had a cool name. What the hell was it? I forget. Ah, Griever concept art. Yeah, that's a kind of freakish mutation. I don't think the actual proper Lemorn even had mouths. Like, where the hell did their mouths come from? Huh. Various animals. The boss. Ooh. Oh, I don't think that was used. Was it? Wait, maybe it was. I forget, and I will find out soon. The entrance room to, Vault Forge with a viola on the pedestal. Beautiful. Oh, I know exactly what room this is. Damn. So pretty. The robots. The facility powered up. Getting the viola at last. Ooh, interconnecting bridges. Ooh, seems like early interpretations of the area had much more complex bridge designs. Bridges connecting the towers on each level. Huh. Oh yeah, the trial race course. Forgot about that set piece. Turrets and the AI core. Metal types. The boss room. The boss proper, in its various forms and states. Oh yeah, this is the second Sylux boss room. That was fun. Yeah, I love how how distinct each individual Sylux boss fight was. Each had very unique gimmicks. Entrance to Ice Belt. Oh yeah, the attack from the wolf swarm. I love how common it is to just take real animals, change a bit, and then add like the split bottom jaws. Instant easy alien design. I believe that's the room I got the spider ball in. There's the ice chip. Cryopods. Ooh, I wish the Grievers were as easy to see in-game as they are in this art. Engine room, power that on. Light returns. Wow, I know this room. I was there. I stood in there. Psychic ball puzzles and tunnels. Icy Grievers emerging. Oh yeah, the footage where they reconstructed and tried to salvage their kin. Oh, little ice dudes. I spent so long reading their name, but I forget them. I forget their names. Oh, there's Karatos. I'd remember that name. Yeah, that was a fun fight. Now on to Flare Pool. I remember doing a spider ball ramp jump in this room. Damn, this art looks so good. All of these are worthy of being wallpapers, I tell you what. The behemoth. Ooh. I don't recall its eyes being so distinct in-game. There he is, Fenris. I guess that's what Fenris looked like before any Metroid fusion occurred. I love how much it is like Kraid. Great choice in its design. And I wasn't making it up, it is actually green-scaled. The Great Mine, the central shaft. Looking up. Crystal caves. As great as this concept art is, I want to see like the prototype designs. I want to see the stuff that wasn't actually used. Maybe that'll be at the bottom? Maybe? An Alpha Griever, or Brute Griever, that's right. Yeah. So pretty. The nest. Oh, the boss room with the Omega Griever. Gorgeous. There you are. Ugh. Oh hey, it's Sol Valley. Yeah. Looks about as boring as I remember. Oh. That's so pretty. Also, that looks like an early Viola design with hollow tire wheels and Samus riding it without the Viola suit, and it's kind of like a reddish pinkish color. Huh. Oh, wait, no, there's a really early Viola design down there. Damn. Where am I? Oh, here. The entrance to the jungle. The shrines down below. It seems they had a few of these puzzles already planned out. Yeah, I recognize all these. A Volt Forge in the far distance. The Great Mine. Ooh, I do not recall all these ruins around the perimeter. Huh. Megdrada volcano erupting. Unfortunately, the volcano wasn't that pretty from a distance. Oh well. Ooh, they had plans for different stages of plant growth for these bursting succulents. Huh. Guess they simplified it. Ah, the various parts for the machine. I think they shrunk the machine from the plans quite a bit. I do not remember these being so damn large. Yeah, I recall the cutscene where Mackenzie was hugging like the back of its this part, like right here, ish, right here, yeah. Ooh, Griever mutations and others. I love how well thought out it is. Big sand whale, yeah. Oh yeah! Were the shrines for the various elements in different hand positions? I recognize it as matching up with the elemental statue right in your home base with those puzzles. Oh, that's neat. Oh, the upgrades were in different shapes too? Oh, I didn't notice. Oh, there he is, my boy. Yeah, I gotta say, Sylux's dragon-headed tentacles? Freaking cool. I love how it was portrayed. Well done. Sylux tackling Samus through the portal. Oh shit, we got concept art for her. And there's the boss arena room. I love all these, like, black holes, these distortions in space. So pretty. So pretty. Samus returning and operating the gate. Miss Erin in the flesh. Yeah, I definitely think this is my favorite interpretation of Samus thus far. Great stuff. Wow, her ponytail is so tiny compared to usual. Huh. Oh, the post-credits scene. I wonder if this was a bonus for getting 100% completion. Oh shit, this is scenes from Sylux's origin story. They're fighting space pirates, I see. Well, that explains why Sylux had no qualms mind controlling all of them, or whatever. Ooh, concept art for the scene direction of Mackenzie's intro. Cool. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I want to see. Entrance into Fenriros's lair. Cool. Being attacked at the mines, retreating in. Ooh. I wish I kept having Samus make a big angry face at Sylux. Don't remember that. Oh, these are movies. Wait, so how much of this is new? Can I... Ah. It's not that much, huh? I want to see this again, though. Oh, I think that's Sylux right there, in the blue. He was very high ranking, wasn't he? Wait. Did I... Wait, this is new! What the frick? I've never seen this!
Commander, what are you doing? I've commanded your troops to hold your position. I've confirmed the pirate's new weapon, if I can seize it. No. I've dispatched Samus's team. Await their arrival and join forces. Yes, sir. Orders. Sir, proceed as planned. Get me that weapon.
Okay, you got hubris. I like how you're just walking out into no cover whatsoever. Oh, shit. I don't think it would have mattered if he, followed orders or not. Wait, so hold on 1 second. Wait just 1 goddamn second here. Okay, what the hell? That changes everything. What? So, is there anything more I'm missing? I need to see the full thing before I talk. No, we've seen this. Absolutely, we saw that. Ah. Okay, I don't know why this was hidden until just now, but, What the heck? That changes everything. Okay, so... Yeah, no, okay, so From what we saw before, the scattered fragments, I inferred Samus must have done something accidentally to get a lot of people around Sylux killed. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's a good reason to seek revenge, but that cutscene, the truth of it changes the context entirely. Now it looks like Sylux was an impatient bastard who got his own men into trouble and got them all killed because of his own hubris. And then Samus came in to clean up his mess, and now he's just mad at her for it. Ah, what? Ah. Well now Sylux feels like just a petty little bitch. He has been robbed of his cool factor. What? Well, that's a nice cherry on top to end all this. Well, I guess there is some positives to be said that I myself was fooled by the fragments of the scene, because I was emphasizing the most with Sylux there from what happened. I was siding with him, I was emphasizing with him. It took until taking extra effort to uncover the full story that I realized the truth. His deception, maybe. But all the same, now Sylux just feels like a petulant loser. Man. At least he has a great design and an even better boss fight. Well, I guess I'll see whatever these are on my own. I'm definitely not gonna cover them in future videos. Yeah, no, this is it. This is the end. We have reached the factual end of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Let's play over. Again, as I said in my review at the end of the finale video, great game. Great game. I am leaving satiated and happy, and wishing it were better. Slightly. It's got flaws, man, but I can look past the flaws. There's something great here at the core of it. I just hope that we'll see refinement on the new ideas here. And hopefully it won't take another 18 years. And if you're wondering what Let's Play is next, I will be taking a few days break, and then we'll be beginning Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. Hope you're excited for that. I know I sure am. Well, the curtains close. I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been the entirety of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.